Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the On Pattison podcast with me, Mike Missinelli. Normally, my co-host is Anthony Sanfilippo. He'll be along a little later. Joining me for the first part of this program is the great Mike Warren, the voice of the Trenton Thunder, a baseball man himself. Mike, how you doing today?
Doing great, Mike. How about yourself? Opening day doesn't get much better than this.
Opening day, baseball season is upon us finally, and we got a corker for today at the Citizens Bank ballpark where Christopher Sanchez against Nate Eovaldi, a very interesting matchup. Now, listen, let's face it, as much as we complain about the Phillies and what they haven't done and whether they're running it back or whatever, they are a contending ball club. They're a solid contender to win the National League and get to the World Series. Of course, they got that big juggernaut ahead of them, the Dodgers. But this is a good baseball team, and I'm curious to know whether you think this is the best Phillies team they put on the field with Bryce Harper.
I don't know if it's the best necessarily. I don't think it is. I think last year's team on paper looked a little bit more attractive than this year's team does. But again, you don't know what you're going to get with Adolis Garcia. That there's a lot of potential that they see with him in right field versus what they got with Kepler last season. I think this is one of the better teams they've put on paper for Bryce Harper, especially when you talk about the pitching standpoint. But from surrounding him in the lineup, I just don't know if it's the best yet. I think pitching-wise, though, you could argue that absolutely.
Really interesting that you say that because to me, there's no question in my mind that it's the best team they put around Bryce Harper, and that's mainly because their bullpen is a lot more buttoned down. I mean, last year, look who they were going with for a closer, and all the stuff that happened in the pen last year. The rotation is solid. Painter, of course, we have to see if he can do it at a big league level, but their 5 starters are pretty damn good. Their bullpen has been hammered down with the acquisition of Duran is a monster help. And, they've got guys that have been around the block, and a couple of them want to come back from lackluster years, namely Bryson Stott, who looks like he's going to be a pretty good player this year. So I think their personnel is you're right about Garcia. We don't know, but we knew about Castellanos.
Right.
And so anything that we get from Garcia has to be on a par, if not better than Castellanos.
Right. You're hoping that you're just going to get a little bit better version of what you've seen from Adolis in the last couple seasons. And to go back to your point about Bryson Stott, approach-wise, you look at his mechanics at the dish this season. If you've watched any of his spring training, I highly recommend, if you haven't, go look at how he's approaching the dish this time around. If Trey Turner was a left-handed batter, it looks exactly like that. So I think there's going to be a lot less wasted movement with the bat. He's going to have a lot more just bat to ball. And a lot of those pitches he missed last year, I don't think he's going to miss this year.
All right, let's take a shot at the lineup. The lineup has not yet been posted. We are doing this podcast early in the morning, and the lineup has not been posted yet. But I'm thinking that Rob Thompson goes with a little right, left type of situation. So the only question in the lineup for me is who's going to bat second. Now, Harper hit second in the World Baseball Classic, but he likes him as a third hitter. So I don't know whether that's going to be Turner, Schwarber, Harper, or Turner, Harper, Schwarber. And then for me, it goes Bohm hitting cleanup, Marsh, the lefty hitting 5th, Garcia, the righty hitting 6th, Stott, the lefty hitting 7th, JT down to 8th this year, and Crawford at 9th. I think Rob likes that righty-lefty situation to befuddle pitchers that are coming in a game.
I think that's almost exactly the lineup you're going to see today. The 2-3 debate is probably where we'll be all season with Bryce and Schwarber. We've heard Bryce say he likes being in the 3 spot, but quite frankly, he's way more productive in the 2 spot, in my opinion. And when you think about having the fact that you have Schwarber behind him, you hear the comments Bryce saying he's going to take his walks this year and just pass the stick mentality. It's kind of what you want for everybody else in the lineup as well. This is a team that when, crunch time comes, they're not notorious for doing that. So you want them to kind of have that infectious mentality of pass it on to the next guy and have the trust that the next guy is going to pick you up and get on base.
All right, here is their roster, their final roster. Their 4 extra players are Sosa, Marchand, Kemp, and Dylan Moore. Because Kemp, the platoon outfielder, and Dylan Moore they kept for reasons that are unclear to me, only that he can play 7 positions, but he can't hit a lick. Your bullpen, Duran, Keller, Alvarado, Kirkring, who's on the IL for the first part, Bolin, Banks, Kyle Backus, Tim Mason, and Zach Pop. One of those 3 will probably have to go when Kirkring gets activated. But that's pretty solid. It's 9 starting players with your 5 starting pitchers being Sanchez, Nola, Luzardo, Taiwan Walker, and then Painter for the first part of it anyway, until Wheeler gets back. Interestingly enough, that starting staff was ranked, the pitching rotation, ranked 5th in all Major League Baseball by the Athletic, following the Dodgers, the Mariners, the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Phillies at 5th. How you feeling about that?
I don't know. These preseason rankings to me, like I don't ever put too much weight into them because you never really know how a season's going to unfold, especially with pitchers. Like anything can happen with a pitcher on any given start. These early starts are as, thrown up in the air as you could be, pretty much in terms of how long is a guy going to go and is his arm ready to go long yet. I'm just not, I don't buy too much into the preseason rankings. I'm more so of a, do you know the makeup of this guy? What has the guy shown you of late? I'm a big eye test guy. And when I look at the Phillies, to your point, Christopher Sanchez is putting enough out there on paper now and eye-wise where you've seen this guy has a put-out pitch that is in the 99th percentile in Major League Baseball. You can't hit his changeup when he's throwing it and he's on top of it. If you see that today, a lot of, upward swings and balls hit down into the dirt or swings and misses. And, the rest of this depth, this bullpen, we talked about it a little bit, Mike, but if you get a full season of Alvarado, a full season of Duran, and you don't have Jordan Romano in the picture anymore, blowing 7 to 9 saves per season, like this is a different team. And that you win maybe 5 to 6 more games with this team this year. And again, you get rid of a cancer, so to speak, in Castellanos in the locker room. I just think, energy-wise, there's a different feel for these guys. Not from a fan standpoint. I think everyone in that clubhouse kind of knows, like, hey, we know what we got here. Let them do the talking. Let's just double down on ourselves here and do what we know what we're capable of. And let's, start this clean sheet moving forward without Nick Castellanos, without last year's troubles and all the controversy. And let's put out a good, clean slate of baseball here.
We're getting a lot of comments already on the text board. Let's go to iRock and Philly says this is the best closer since Harper has been there. There's no question about it. That it's such a luxury to have Duran come in the game and not have to worry as much as you had to before. Ford is worried about if they get hit with injuries, age and stuff. Turner, Harper, probably Kyle Schwarber. That's something we haven't talked about, but I mean that is probably something we should think about. The guys who are in their 30s now, whether they can withstand a whole season.
I mean that's typically where Dave Dombrowski's comment came from for Bryce Harper in the beginning of it. The whole not elite thing is just, it's a statement of fact. Like when you are past the age 32, 33 years old, you're not going to have the same production you did at 27, 28, whatever it might've been before that. But yeah, wear and tear is a real thing. I'm not expecting Schwarber to go out there and hit 50 home runs this year. I'm not expecting Harper to have a monumental season, but these guys need to know their roles again and stay within themselves and know when to take the off day. That's a big thing for Harper, especially. Know when to take the off day. That's why I think this Moore guy made the roster, more importantly, and Otto Kemp is here as well. He proved last year he could play first base at time to time, and you can throw him in the outfield, but these older guys need to know their bodies and know to take the off day.
Question by David Wick, 4606. Would you consider Garcia and Crawford an upgrade overall compared to Casti and Bader? Also, what would you consider good years for Crawford and Garcia? I definitely think that they are an upgrade from Casti and Bader. I was not a Bader. Listen, I know everybody fell in love with Bader. He's, to me, a mediocre player who caught a wave a little bit with the Phillies. Yep. And we know what Castellanos was. He kind of dragged this team down. So, yeah, I would even Garcia, I think, can do the same thing as Castellanos and provide better defense. And Crawford's exciting, man. I like the potential of Crawford much better than I would have had Harrison Bader.
A lot of the guys that I talk to that, in the MLB draft league that have been on coaching staffs, both for the Thunder and other teams, they talk about the ability of first to third speed that really changes a game. Justin Crawford has that. His speed is lights out. And we talk, you can talk about, he hits the ball the opposite way. That's a good thing, by the way. He hits the ball on the ground. That is also a good thing for a guy who has speed. He gets on base. He's not going to overcomplicate things. I expect rookie struggles. I expect lows for sure. It's going to happen. 162 games, it happens. But first to third speed, he's going to be in the 9 spot this season for a reason. If you can get Crawford and Turner on the base paths at the same time, it is going to be a nightmare for the majority of the other team's pitching staff. So that is where the Phillies are from a mindset in terms of lineup construction. Garcia, in my mind, I mean, if he can hit above 235 and give you 20 home runs and 80 RBIs, that's a great season. I don't know if we're going to get that.
How about that 235? I got to see it better than 235.
Above 235, I'm saying, because that's where
it's got to be. It's got to be in the 250s for me.
Yeah, agreed. I think, to start the year, you're going to see a bit of a revolving door in the outfield. My not so hot take to start this season is that I expect Otto Kemp to kind of be a guy that Phillies fans cling on to, because you're going to have, again, the highs and the lows with Crawford early on. You don't know what you're getting with Garcia, and you know that Otto Kemp has great bat-to-ball skills, so he's going to get some reps just by default when guys struggle early on.
Not so sure about Kemp. I still have to be sold on whether Otto Kemp is a bona fide major league player.
That's fair. Small sample size. I got a good Otto Kemp story for you real quick. A couple guys that played for the Thunder played against Otto Kemp both in high school and in college. One kid played against him, and this is probably why he has a lot of injury problems now, but said he played with pretty much a broken hand one game. Went 3 for 4, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs. Another kid that played against him for his whole high school career and twice in college said if that kid never got hurt, he would have been a bona fide potential first round pick.
Wow.
Otto Kemp has that potential still. It's just the question mark, can he stay healthy? So we'll see if that can come to light this year.
Yeah, we'll see if he's got some pop. But here's a question. Yeah. Could the Phillies have 5 20-plus home run hitters in this lineup? Do you see 5?
I do. I absolutely
do. Give me the 5. The obviously Harper and Schwarber. Who do you got? Who else?
Turner,
okay.
Turner, Bohm, and I'm going to throw Stott into the mix this year. I think Stott.
You got Bohm and Stott into the mix. No Garcia.
I don't know. I mean, Garcia is like what I would say is the obvious, pick from an outside perspective. You see the big muscles and you see him up, hitting, and it looks real attractive. But it's boom or bust with him. Stott, again, with the approach that he has this season, I think he's going to run into some pitches and he's going to have a little bit more pop than he did last year.
Oh, we got a lot of texts coming in. This is definitely a better team than last year. It's Jay Sporman. The outfield D is better. The lineup is about the same, and I expect them to have better years, so that's an upgrade. And the pitching is better from 1 to 12. He's not wrong. I'm normally not a guy that's overly optimistic, but I really like the way this team sets in.
Yeah, the talent is there. The potential is there, and again, like this seems like a group that wants to move forward, and they're not listening to the outside noise like they have in years past. This team has fallen into the Red October trap however many times now. I think they're past that. I think they're really thinking more so like, let's focus on taking 2 of 3 every series. That's the goal. And then when we get to the playoffs, it's time to reset and have that, new season mindset. But this is a team that's been there, done that. It's time for them to actually do the thing that the fans want them to do and bring home the trophy.
No, the concept about running it back, the Phillies do have 11 different players on the roster than they did last year. That's quite a significant amount of players, right? At the start of last year, they have 11 different players.
It is. It's honestly that's a mindset change too, though, Mike. Like when you bring in different guys like that, that means you got rid of some guys that weren't necessarily fitting the mold or the mindset or the mantra that's in that clubhouse. So, yeah, when you bring in a haul of 11 guys, and again, a lot of them are pitchers. I'm excited what this Backus guy can do. Really, the lefty arm slot for him, having that out of the
it's interesting.
It's really going to mess with some guys this year. I think he's going to secure some outs for them in some big moments. Not saying that Strom couldn't do that for them in the past, but just not the same arm angle, and that makes or breaks a left-handed pitcher, I believe.
All right, the odds to win the World Series have been posted. Mike Warren, who's joining us today, Anthony Sanfilippo will be along soon. Here's the thing with Anthony. Anthony covers the team on Pattison. So all the writers are not allowed in until 11:30. They lock the gates until 11:30. That's when they open the ballpark. So Anthony will be along somewhere along those hours. Odds to win the World Series. Let's see if you can go down the list and guess where the Phillies are. Who's your odds-on favorite at plus 220?
The Dodgers.
Correct. Second.
Is it the New York Mets?
The New York Yankees.
The Yankees, okay.
Third, the New York Mets at plus 1,200. The Yankees plus 1,000. So there's quite a big difference between the Dodgers and the second place team.
Yeah.
The fourth team, World Series odds.
Blue Jays.
Blue Jays are fifth.
Fourth. They got the Padres ahead of them?
Nope. Padres are not listed. American League team, the Seattle Mariners.
The Mariners, okay.
At plus 1,300. Then the Blue Jays at plus 1,400. Then, who's next?
They got Boston in there this year? Is Boston?
They got the Red Sox tied with the Phillies at plus 1,600. So that's not a bad bet.
Nah, not at all. I would take some money on the Phillies.
Put 100 to win 1,600?
100%, yeah.
Although the Dodgers, I mean, it's almost too easy. Plus 220, isn't it?
Yeah,
they should be minus.
The Dodgers should be minus money, 100%. But a three-peat, I mean, when has that been done? You know, it's been quite some time since.
Yeah, they're probably they're solid at every position.
They're deep. They're deep.
All right, here's the question: the Phillies will get to the World Series if
the Phillies will get to the World Series if Christopher Sanchez has 20 wins this season. I firmly believe he's got to carry an early load here for Zach Wheeler. I think the Phillies will also get to the World Series if Bryce Harper has an OPS above 900 this year. The key for him is getting on base. And if other guys see him get on base, the pressure will come off. And I think that is gonna be a big key for them this season. Christopher Sanchez giving them 20 wins, establishing himself as a legitimate Cy Young contender for the whole year. And then once you get there, you know, in the offensive side of things, it's all about Bryce Harper this season.
All right, second question. The Phillies won't get to the NLCS if
the bullpen doesn't live up to the hype. If the bullpen is, you know, I always have this theory, Mike, there's some demons out in the bullpen at Citizens Bank Park because we've brought in guy after guy, year after year. This guy's going to be great. He's supposed to fix it. He's supposed to be the stopper. And something, you know, there's always something fishy that happens when it comes time to execute. So wouldn't be surprised if they have some early woes. That's typically as it goes for the Phillies bullpen, and they hit their stride July, August. But yeah, if the bullpen doesn't live up to the hype, this team will not make the NLCS.
Okay, so you're thinking about a guy named like Brad Keller if he's not as advertised.
Brad Keller. I mean, Duran. Like if Duran, you know, falls off.
Duran's as advertised. I have no worries about Duran. He is as
fair.
Advertised. I have no worries. Fair. Keller got hit around a little bit in the WBC.
Alvarado. I mean, that's a guy that last year started to show true signs of consistency. Then he gets popped for a PED. I don't know if he's able to consistently put it together, especially early on in the season. He's a guy that doesn't pitch well in cold weather.
All right, let's go back to our text board here. 94 wins, division title, says Jay Sporman. I realize this is an if, but if Wheeler's healthy and himself, this pitching staff is amazing. Do you think all these guys hit their peaks? Teams have aging bats, JT, Bryce, Trey, Kyle. Do you think all these guys already hit their peak? No, I don't think so. I don't think that at all. I don't think any of them have hit their peak yet. I do worry occasionally about Bryce Harper because he's missed a lot of hittable pitches lately, and he missed a lot of them in the World Baseball Classic. But again, early in the season, timing not quite there yet.
So, my favorite thing is that, you know, the critiques for Bryce missing those pitches where people online, you know, the all-knowing Twitterverse, people saying, oh, it's bat speed. His bat speed isn't there. It's not always bat speed, guys. Like you miss pitches sometimes. The pitcher is good too, you know. Like it's not like Bryce Harper is the best and every pitcher is beneath him. Like no, the pitcher wins sometimes as well. Yeah. So like that's a real thing, you know. Like his bat speed is fine. It's not that you miss pitches sometimes. Just simply put.
What was I going to say? Oh, the second most important player for you. If Harper's the first, who's the second most important player that you're looking at in this game, in this lineup?
Bryson Stott. 100%. It's Bryson Stott. I know, like, again, we talk about what you know, right? Like Trey Turner, you know what you're going to get with him. He simplifies things at the dish, good bat-to-ball skill. This is the season where Bryson Stott has to prove you're not taking me out of the lineup for left-handed pitching today. You're not. He has to be in the lineup every day. He has to get on base consistently. We're done with the sub 700 OPS to start the year. He needs to get off to a good start this year. And again, I'm harping on the mechanics at the plate, but these changes, you look at where he was, when he hit the home run against the Marlins in the playoffs, his big moment, right? A lot of wasted motion up here, twirling the bat, an open stance. Yeah. When pitchers see that, they know to go, okay, we're going under the hands or we're going back foot. And you looked at a lot of those strikeouts last season. Go watch them. Go look at the outs, the pop outs. It's under the hands and it's back foot breaking balls. So him changing to a tighter, more compact, less movement stance, again, he's going to get to balls that he didn't get to last year. He's going to get on base more. I just think that Bryson Stott is so crucial to this lineup. His success could really make or break them reaching the NLCS or being a World Series contender.
He's kind of going to a Chase Utley type of swing now.
Yeah.
Where he lowers the hands a little bit, stays more relaxed. And then that's interesting you say for me, it's Garcia. He's a mystery wrapped around in riddle. An enigma. I don't know what I'm going to get from him. He's the most important player. If they can get output from right field, that is going to help them a great deal that they didn't get last year.
Absolutely.
So he's my most important guy.
And I think you're going to get a defensive lift from him out in right field too. There's some things that Nick wasn't necessarily good at. You talk about coming in into his left, fielding the ball versus going out into his right. Adolis, I'm not sure in terms of tracking, but arm-wise, he's put it on display a couple times in spring training. The arm talent's there. So you're going to mow down a couple more guys, I feel, or you're going to hold guys to one less bag than you would if Nick Castellanos was out there with that lollipop arm into second base.
He's made a couple good throws at the plate, though, in his day.
He did. Hey, the Braves game,
Yeah, he did. He's gone. He's somebody else's problem now. All right, let's take our first break of the show. Anthony St. Filippo will join us momentarily. This show, of course, being brought to us by Wapner Newman, the great folks in the law firm Wapner Newman. Winners win. Wapner Newman has been winning for families throughout Philadelphia area and New Jersey since 1978. If you need a winner, call Wapner Newman. The number, write it down, 215-569-0900. That's 569-0900, or visit them online at Wapner Newman. That's WAPNERNEWMAN.com. Beyond Pattison podcast with me, Mike Missinelli, and Mike Warren filling in for Anthony in the first part of the show. Back after this.
The Peruzzi Automotive Group on Business Route 1 in Fairless Hills is looking for auto techs, all skill levels. Here's a chance to work for a locally owned family business that offers many benefits. For more information, call the service director, John Damarotis, at 215-943-6200. That's 215-943-6200, or visit any Peruzzi service department.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. Every champion needs a good game plan. BCWSA and I want to make sure you have a game plan when it comes to conserving our most precious resource, water. Whether you're washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or watering your garden, there are ways you can save water and save money. Visit bcwsa.net for tips on conserving water. BCWSA, proven.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Bring your party to Chicky and Pete's. We can handle groups of all sizes at our locations across the Delaware Valley. Big parties, small parties, company parties, family parties, get-togethers with friends. Order off the menu or our special catering options. We can do it all, including coming to your home or office, or special Play 2 party packages at our South Philly location. Book your party today. Hurry, the space is limited. Visit chickyandpete's.com for details. Chicky and Pete's is official caterer of the Philadelphia Eagles Touchdown Club and a proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
This is kind of a Phillies pregame show. The opener today at 4 o'clock at Citizens Bank Ballpark on the On Pattison podcast with Mike Missinelli. Mike Warren is with me today until Anthony Sanfilippo gets in, and then literally gets in the stadium. A great pitching man. A lot of people don't know that much about the Texas Rangers, but they're solid. And the Phillies are going to face three pretty good pitchers in this series, Mike.
Without a doubt. It starts today, right? Nathan Eovaldi, a guy that has so much movement on his pitches, and honestly, he fares pretty well against this lineup. Harper's had a decent amount of success against him across 24 at-bats. He's hitting around 333 with a home run. Bryson Stott, small sample size, 1 for 2 against him. JT has struggled against him. Trey Turner has. So it's really up in the air today. You know, this is where Kevin Long makes his money. It's on opening day. How do you prepare for the pitcher? How are these guys going into it analytically? What are they looking at? What is the one pitch, one spot they're going to hunt today with this guy? Me personally, just looking at him, you know, a 97-mile-an-hour fastball is what you got to be sitting on. I know the slider is the put-out pitch, and it's one that he can tunnel with the fastball, but you got to be looking fastball, one pitch, one spot, be ready for it. And that's the one thing that the Phillies have kind of struggled with in the past. It's 95 elevated in the zone. I think Eovaldi is going to try to attack with high heat today. It's going to be a test for these hitters early on if they can get on top of it.
Game 2 Saturday, Aaron Nola versus Jacob deGrom. Oof. And then game 3, Luzardo versus Mackenzie Gore. They newly acquired Mackenzie Gore from the Washington Nationals. So this will test the Phillies. And then Walker and Painter go against the Nationals in the next series. And everybody's looking forward to that Painter start.
Absolutely. But I'm honestly looking forward to Luzardo's first start. You know, the two guys that got the big paydays, I want to see them start strong. Obviously, I mean, Luzardo's got all this hype around him being a legitimate Cy Young contender this year. You look at, I love people that, you know, you want to take away, well, if you take away the 2 bad starts, unfortunately, we can't do that. But if you do that, he is one of the better pitchers last season. But unfortunately, when he's one of the worst, historically, he is one of the worst. He's the best at being the worst in terms of blow-up innings and the ERA skyrocketing. So that's the thing with him. He's got to maintain when guys get on base, you know, simplifying things, making it easier on him, and not panicking when a guy gets on second that he's looking into his glove and fine-tuning that like the problem he had last year.
Yeah. Oh, there he is, live from the ballpark. He is live from the ballpark. Anthony Sanfilippo joining us. Hello, Ann. How are things at the ballpark?
Oh, Mike, you couldn't ask for a more beautiful day for opening day than we're going to get today. It's already awesome down here, and it's still, you know, not even noon yet. The temperature's supposed to go up to 72. It's going to be perfect down here today.
Perfect baseball weather, and you're there just in time. So we're just talking about this team and how good this team is, and the lineup and all that stuff. Anthony, I asked Mike the question. I'm going to ask you the same question. What has to happen for the Phillies to get to the World Series?
They have to be able to beat the Dodgers in the playoffs. and seriously, in my mind, I don't think that there's a number 2 team. I think the Phillies are number 2. Like, I don't think that there's another team better than the Phillies other than the Dodgers. And so, to me, it really comes down to that. Obviously, they got to stay healthy. That's paramount. You know, your regular season, your best players have to stay healthy. They don't have a lot of depth in the minor leagues. It's ready for the majors. So they might struggle a little bit if they get a few injuries. But aside from that, that's the only thing that can, I think, stop the Phillies from getting back to the playoffs and being the team that ends up playing the Dodgers. If all goes the way it should go, you're probably not facing them this year until the NLCS, as opposed to a division series, which is only 5 games. So you're looking at a 7-game series. Can you beat the Dodgers in 7 games? If you can, and they have the pitching staff to do it, then I think you can go to the World Series. But that's the only hurdle in my mind.
Okay, what has to go wrong for the Phillies not to do that?
People get hurt, especially the pitchers. Right now, there's really only 6 starters when you think about it. I mean, and that includes Taijuan Walker, right, as the 6th guy. Beyond him, you got a couple of cast-offs in the minors, like a Bryce Wilson, who has pitched in the major leagues, but wasn't great. He was terrible last year with the White Sox. Alan Ronhell. Like, what do you have after that? Yeah. So it's incredibly important for those guys to stay healthy. If you lose any of your starters for any length of time, that's problematic. And that could be enough to make the Mets pass you in the division, and then you have to play a wild card, and it's a whole different path coming from the wild card than it is from the winning the division. So I think that's first and foremost. And then secondarily, Mike, the lineup has to hit. It's got to be better, especially the cleanup spot. It's going to start with Alec Boehm, but if he doesn't come through, then it's got to be Adolis Garcia. Those guys have to be able to hit. If they don't, that's an indictment on Dave Dombrowski and the front office for not providing that player this offseason.
There's a lot of people that think that the manager, Rob Thompson, is on the hot seat if the Phillies get off to a bad start. Are you feeling that?
I mean, I don't think he's on a hot seat. They would have to be really bad, Mike. Like if they get off to a slow start, but they're hovering around.
If they're essentially they're Joe Girardi bad.
Well, maybe at that point. But that's 10 games under 500. Like
yeah.
Like
this team won't be 10 games under 500.
I don't think they're going to be 10 games under 500, right? So yeah, sure. If it's that bad, then yeah, he should be on the hot seat. But I don't think it. Like, could they be 500 and he still have his job and not feel the pressure? Yes.
Do you have a lineup posted, by the way?
The lineup is the same lineup that they finished the spring training with. So Turner, Schwarber, Harper, Boehm, Stott, Garcia, Marsh, Realmuto, Crawford.
So they moved Stott up to the 5th slot.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like they're looking at the 5 spot as a second leadoff spot this year in the lineup. It's a chance for him to kind of get on base, reset guys. And again, if you got a powerful bat like Garcia behind him, if he runs into a couple pitches or is in one of those hot streaks, there's really no one you can pitch around in that lineup. And yeah, Stott just needs to be a good contact hitter this year. I think a lot's going to open up for the lineup if he can.
I think Mike's right with that. I'll add one little thing. I think that their thought coming into the year was Brandon Marsh would hit 5 and Stott would hit 7. But Brandon Marsh did not have a very good spring. Like he looked pretty bad, actually. And so I think that they want him to try and figure it out. Meanwhile, Stott has continued to hit. So I think Stott makes more sense there right now for all the reasons Mike just said, and the fact that Brandon Marsh doesn't look right just yet. I think that there's a chance you might see some shuffling with the lineup eventually. Wouldn't surprise me if at some point Stott ended up near the top of the lineup to lengthen it a little bit. If Marsh and Garcia are hitting, I think you might see that. But for now, this is what they're going to roll with.
All right, Anthony, I've got a list here of the top ranked lineups in baseball. This was done by Jim Bowden, former general manager and writer now for The Athletic. Top ranked lineups go as follows. Dodgers 1. Yeah. Yankees 2. Yankees 2.
I don't know. I mean, I guess Aaron Judge just makes that a better lineup. I don't get
you're not buying it. All right, okay.
I don't
like
get
it.
The Yankees.
All right, number 3, the Orioles.
I mean, they got a lot of talent, but they got to put it together. They've had guys had down years last year.
This is just the lineups that are ranked.
Yeah.
Don't have a hissy on me here. I'm not. It's like
I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming Jim Bowden.
All right, number 4. Number 4, the Blue Jays.
That's fair. Okay.
All right, number 5, the Braves.
Okay. I mean,
you guys shaking your head. Mike Warren shaking his head. He's not buying the Braves.
I
don't know. Well, you got Acuna is a star. Olsen hits for 40 home runs. If Austin Riley has a really good year, like he could have a bounce back. Like they got some talent there. The kid Baldwin, who's the catcher, like there's some talent there. I'm okay with saying that the Braves have a really good lineup, but I don't think their lineup matters when you consider the fact that they have 5 guys on injured reserve right now on the injured list who would be a starting rotation for 20 teams in Major League Baseball. That's ridiculous. It's crazy.
I was just about to say the same thing, Anthony, real quick, Mike. But like with the Braves lineup, when you look at it, one, Jerks and Profar not in that lineup again this year. It's another big loss for them. Austin Riley, can he bounce back? Big question mark there, in my opinion. But he is a Philly killer, so I think he'll do just fine in the division play like he normally does. But again, like when I look at the Braves and the Phillies lineup, I think it's bar none the Phillies have the better lineup. Just 1 through 9, I think their lineup is way better.
Bowden has the Mets at 6.
No, no, I'm not with them. I'm not with them on that either. I'm just not. I don't know. I think we made so much of a big deal about the Bo Bichette thing that I think we're going to end up watching this season and go, "That's what we were all fired up about in the off season." Like,
Possible.
Good
Number
hit,
7.
Good hitter, but not great.
7, the Chicago Cubs.
Wow.
Anthony's not feeling this at all. Anthony is not with Jim Bowden.
I'm not. I mean, you take Kyle Tucker out of their lineup and you add Bregman. I mean, I don't think that's an even swap. And the Phillies had a better lineup than the Cubs last year. So, like,
Agreed.
why is it better?
I don't know. Number 8, the Brewers.
Come on, they can't hit a home run. I mean, I like them. I mean, they're scrappy. They're fun, but I mean, they have no power. How is that a better lineup?
Jory,
Number 9, the Red Sox.
No.
And
I mean, look, I like Roman Anthony. I think he's going to be a star for the Red Sox. But I mean, what? I don't know. Like, there's a lot of questions.
You seem to be miffed that we haven't said the Phillies yet.
I'm very miffed. Not that I think that the Phillies have a great lineup, but they're better than a number of these teams.
Agreed.
The Phillies are number 10, behind the Red Sox.
I'd probably have the Phillies 5 or 6, if I'll be honest.
Then it goes Mariners, Athletics, Padres, Tigers, and Astros. The Athletics getting some notice this year.
Well, the A's can hit. Like, there's some pop in that lineup. Problem with the A's, they don't have any pitching, but they have a really interesting lineup. I'm kind of surprised that the Tigers aren't a little bit higher. I think the Tigers are a team. That's the team I think is going to surprise. Well, not surprise. I mean, they were a playoff team last year, but I think that's the team that could end up going to the World Series out of the American League this year. So that one surprises me a little bit that they're not higher. I don't know. I just think I think he missed the boat on a couple of these teams. I really do.
Okay. All right, that's fair. All right, I also want to go. There was a story I was reading of 10 questions about the Phillies. I want to see how you guys react to these 10 questions they have about the Phillies. Number 1, Trey Turner. Can he maintain his defensive production, Anthony?
He looked like it in spring training. I mean, you don't really put a lot of stock in hitting stats in spring training, but fielding's fielding, right? And so, like, the games that I watched when I was down in Florida and Turner played, he looked really good at shortstop again. And look, I'm as surprised as anybody that he had the year that he had defensively last year. I thought that he was terrible in 24 and that there was no way they could bring him back. That's how bad I thought he was. And then he was really good, almost Gold Glove caliber last year. That's how good he was. And then the spring games that I saw, I was only there for 8 days, but he looked good defensively. So I'd say he can.
All right, number 2, Kyle Schwarber. Can he replicate or improve upon his 2025 season?
That's going to be hard to do, Mike. I mean,
hard to improve 56 homers.
Yes, it's hard to do more than that. He was runner-up for MVP. Now, do I think Kyle Schwarber can have a similar OPS, similar productivity, hit 45 home runs, and drive in 100 runs, score 100 runs, walk 100 times? Yeah, I still think Kyle Schwarber can be Kyle Schwarber, but replicate 56 home runs. I mean, not many guys have done that once in their career, let alone back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, I see a 40 home run season for Kyle Schwarber this year,
and that's okay.
That's okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we talked a little earlier with Mike. Are there 5 people in this Phillies lineup that can hit 20 or more home runs? And who would they be, other than Harper and Schwarber?
I mean, Garcia should get there in this ballpark. He should get there. Turner can get there. We've seen it. He only hit 15 last year, but he probably wants to hit a few more this year. So I say, can he get there? Yes. Alec Boehm should get there. Like, he should. He physically should get there. But he's not shown that he can. I just wonder if in a walk year, in a free agency year, if all of a sudden we start to see a little bit more power from him. So he would be.
By the way, there are only 3 teams, three Phillies teams that have had that. Can you name who they are? What years they were?
Wow. 5 guys with 20 or more home runs.
Yep.
I'm going to go 07?
One happened recently.
22?
23.
23. Okay. Was 07 one of them?
07 was one of them.
Yeah. So I remember they could hit, but they had no pitching that year. And how many more? 2 more?
One more.
1 more. 5 guys with 20 home runs.
You're close. You're close with 2007.
09?
09 is correct.
Okay.
Nice work.
I know.
All right,
I knew it wasn't 08. That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was the year they won, and they didn't have that. So
Yeah. The third question is an athletic story. Bryce Harper, will he bounce back?
I say yes. I think that I think he's going to have a good season. The interesting thing was him telling reporters, I think it was the day after I left, that he wants to walk 140 to 150 times. I think that's an astronomical number, right?
It
really is.
It really is.
Even the year he won MVP here, he only walked 100. So, like, can he get to 100? Yeah. I think it's probably more likely in the 80 to 90 range. And if he's there, I think that he'll have a really good season.
To go off that point real quick, Anthony,
yes, go ahead, Mike.
If Harper wants to walk more, and I learned this from Jeff Manto, that means he wants to do something when he walks. Not saying he's going to be a speed demon stealing bases, but he wants to be effective when he's on the base path. So if he wants to walk more, then he needs to be a threat, because your power guy walking does nothing for you. So if he's going to get on base at a higher clip, you should expect to see Harper try to swipe second every, a little bit more frequently than he does in the past.
Maybe so. I think that his mentality on this is that he got so chase happy last year that nobody was throwing him strikes. And so I think that he's looking at it as, if I walk more, it'll force pitchers to throw more balls in the zone, and therefore I can do damage as a power hitter at that time. I think that's his mentality. Whether it happens or not, we'll see. But I think that's what he's going for.
I gotta be honest. I don't want him running the bases like that. I
don't want him being reckless either. But I'm just saying, the mindset of a manager, of a hitting coach is, same thing when Schwarber walks. It's like, okay, thanks for walking, I guess. Like, this is the new mindset of hitting. It's almost as if some of these guys would rather you strike out instead of walk, because it's like, what good does Kyle Schwarber on first base do unless the guy behind him is going to pick him up? And again, we talk about the pass the baton mentality and stuff, but the Phillies struggle to do that. Situationally, they need to be a better hitting team this year. And if they can actually pass the baton and make the pitcher get them out instead of getting themselves out, then we're talking about, okay, we're fine when Schwarber walks and Harper walks. But when you got a guy clogging up first base, it doesn't do anything for you other than make the double play that much easier.
Back to questions to Alec Boehm now. Will this be the year that he can be the good cleanup hitter?
I mean, it all adds up for that, Mike, but I'm not buying into it. I just don't think Alec Boehm – I think we've seen what Alec Boehm is. And if Alec – and I was having this conversation with Jim Salisbury from NBC Sports the other day. If he just hits – if he was hitting 6th in the lineup, nobody would have a problem with Alec Boehm. If he was your number 6 hitter. The production that he gives you is akin to what a number 6 hitter should give you. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he's hitting 4, we hold it to a higher standard, right? And so, therefore, you're expecting more out of him than what he probably is. Should he produce runs? Yes. If Turner, Harper, and Schwarber are getting on base, Alec Boehm should drive in close to 100 runs just because he's a contact hitter, right? But I don't think anybody's going to look at him and say he's going to suddenly turn into a prototypical cleanup hitter, because he's not. That's not what he is. If Alec Boehm hits 280, 285, hits 15 to 20 home runs, and drives in 90 to 100 runs, you're happy and take it.
All right. Bryson Stott, is his spring training performance sustainable? He went 336, 438, 634 with an OPS of 1.072.
Is the spring training number sustainable? No, they're not going to. He's not going to do that this season. But what I will say is I'm bullish on him. I think he's going to have a really good year. And that stems back to last year. If you remember, it was late July when they made a change to his batting stance. And he kept his hands lower, less waggle, less movement in the box. And he was more short and compact to the ball. stopped hitting those lazy pop outs to left field, shallow left field, started driving the ball more to the pull side, which was good. And he was really good. He hit over 300 in the second half of the season. And then you see him continue to do it in spring training. I think that player is there. And so I think Stott will be a really good on-base guy for the Phillies this year. But I don't think you're going to see him with an OPS north of 1,000. That's not going to happen.
Question number 6. Adolis Garcia, what will his production be?
Great defense in right field. I'll say that. He's got a hose, by the way. He's got an arm in right field that's – I'll throw a name out to you, Mike, kind of reminiscent of. It's not this good, but it's close. Dave Parker.
Oh, yeah,
Dave
Cobra.
Parker? Yeah.
The Cobra, yeah.
He's got a gun in right field. So that's huge. Offensively, in this ballpark, because it favors right-handed power, I think he will get you 25 home runs. What I'm not sure of, but I was encouraged in spring training, is can he be more controlled at the plate and not chase bad pitches? So the one thing that impressed me, again, I don't put a lot of stock in spring training numbers, other than the fact that he had 49 plate appearances and only struck out 5 times. So that meant he wasn't chasing. So if he stays committed to that, that'll be a positive for the Phillies. Now, you gotta remember, he's been in the league for how long, right? He's 32, 33 years old. He's very set in his ways. By June, is he going to still be that guy trying to be patient at the plate, or is he going to start chasing everything again? That it's a long season, so you got to wait and see. But if he can maintain what he was doing in spring training from a selectivity perspective, he'll be a benefit for the Phillies.
All right, how about this? How will the platoon in left field look? I know Mike Warren is concerned about that.
Well, it'll be Brad Marsh and Otto Kemp. The one thing I can tell you about Otto Kemp is he does hit lefties, right? So I expect you'll get good production, not star quality, but solid production out of that side of it. Brandon Marsh is the one that, he's the guy that's got to find his way. He was good against righties last year, and you hope that he replicates that. If they replicate what they did situationally against Marsh against righties and Kemp against lefties last year, they will combine to be an over 800 OPS, which is really, really solid for the position. But I'm not convinced Brandon Marsh, he had a terrible spring. He looked awful in spring training. Again, I don't put any stock in the numbers. It's just you watch his at-bats, and they just didn't look comfortable. They didn't look good. Yeah. And so you worry that, is he going to have a similar start to this season that he had last year when he was 0 for April? He can't do that again. He's got to be better than that.
All right, number 8, JT Real Muto at 35 years old. What is he as the starting catcher?
I don't know what he's going to be production-wise, but I will tell you the biggest advantage to having JT behind the plate is the ABS challenge. He's going to be – this is going to be the new – we've heard for years about catchers framing, right, how they frame pitches. That was so important, such an important quality for a catcher. Now it's going to be how good are you at knowing the strike zone, and when can you challenge and overturn an umpire's call? He was perfect in spring training, 7 for 7 on the ABS challenge. I think he's really good at it, and I think that will be an advantage for Phillies pitchers this year to have JT back there behind the plate doing that.
Question number 9, Justin Crawford. What exactly will he look like on offense against big league pitching?
I don't know, but I'll say this. He's going to bat 9th. If he hits 260, 265, gets on base 315, has an OPS in the 675, 680 range, plays decent defense, steals 30 bases, that is all you need. That's all you need for him out of that spot. So shouldn't have all these exorbitant expectations for him. He's a rookie coming into the majors. He's going to make contact. He's not going to strike out. Just be that. If you be that guy, the Phillies are happy.
And finally, Christopher Sanchez. Will he win this year's National League Cy Young Award?
Last I checked, Paul Skeens still pitches in the National League, right? All right, yeah. No, he will not.
Last time you checked?
Last time I checked. Yeah, so I think that, when you look at Skeens, unless he gets hurt, he's the best pitcher in baseball, right? So he would have to be something would have to go wrong there for him not to be the front runner for Cy Young. That doesn't mean Sanchez can't. I think he can be. Here's the thing, Mike. If you go look at right now at the odds for NL Cy Young, the Phillies have 3 of the top 8 in Sanchez, Luzardo, and Wheeler. They're 3, 7, and 8, I think, in the odds. Like nobody else has that. That's pretty incredible. You know,
it really is. All right, let's take a break. We're going to come back. Anthony, I got to get your take on the Flyers. They blew a golden opportunity the other night.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, man. And we'll talk Sixers basketball as well because the boys were back last night. Paul George with Embiid. No Maxey still, but Embiid went off. This is the On Pattison podcast with me, Mike Missinelli, today, joined by Anthony Sanfilippo and Mike Warren. And we're back after this.
Penn Community Bank, we're your financial partner for all of life's moments. Our checking accounts are designed with you in mind, providing convenient access and 5-star mobile and online banking services to help you achieve your goals. Right now, you can earn a $350 cash bonus for opening a qualifying new checking account with direct deposits in the first 60 days. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/cash bonus to learn more. Penn Community Bank, here we grow. Offer terms and conditions apply. Limited time offers subject to change. As for full details, member FDIC.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Come join us for happy hour weekdays from 4 to 6. Enjoy half-price orders of Chicky's wings, delicious pizzas, scrumptious hot, cold, or fried shrimp, jumbo soft pretzel with a trio of tasty dips, plus $3 domestic bottles, $6 Tito's, and $6 seltzers. Come join our happy hour weekdays 4 to 6. Come taste and enjoy. Only at Chicky's and Pete's.
Are you living with relentless pain? St. Mary has a new way to help. Knee and hip replacements with a smarter process for faster recovery, earning prestigious awards for quality and value. A rapid recovery program has you walking just hours after surgery. And breakthrough advances, such as custom-fit joints, position you for a longer pain-free life. 215-710-5888. St. Mary Orthopedics. It's your health. Expect more. Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com.
A lot of buzz on the text line. Somebody asked the question, when Wheeler comes back, which pitcher is out? I mean, that's the most obvious question I've ever heard. Taijuan Walker takes a seat as a long man. Definitely gets bumped. What is a fair expectation for Painter? Can he have a sub-4 ERA and a sub-125 whip? I think I'd be asking a lot, but I think it could be done.
I'd say be happy with about a 4.25 ERA.
I agree.
If you get that out, he's your number 4 starter. If that's what you get, and ultimately he'll be your number 5 when Wheeler comes back. I'd say, take that. That you'll be happy with a 4.25 ERA in rookie year.
And
I'd agree with that too.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, I wanted to ask you a question that I cannot believe it went as viral as it did, but it's courtesy of our buddy Tim Kelly here at On Pattison.
Okay.
He was down here the other night, and for their unveiling of all the new stuff at the ballpark.
Yes.
And he got a one-on-one with John Middleton and asked about the analog clock in center field not coming back, and also renaming Harry the K's the Ghost Energy Deck.
Yes.
And everybody's in a furor about this. And count me under the people that don't get it, that don't get the everybody being upset. I wanted to ask you: does it bother you at all that they're doing this?
I like the clock. I can, but it's not going to change my opinion one way or the other. And the Harry the K's, well, you know why people are upset about that, because Harry the K was beloved, but they don't understand it's all about money. And Middleton said it's about money. Basically, he admitted it's about money.
I look the way I look at it, and I tell people that I've been telling people this for a couple of days now. I'm like, You could be nostalgic all you want for some clock that represented Connie Mack Stadium, and you could be nostalgic about a place called Harry the K's. He's got a, as Middleton points out, he's got a statue. The press box is named after him. All that good stuff. Do you want that, or do you want a competitive team? Because Ghost Energy Drink is paying enough money to have their name there to pay for a player on this team. And whatever replaces the All-Star Game logo in center field where the clock was, like, that will pay for a player
It's
to be
true.
on this team.
They could have
right?
said Ghost Energy Drink at Harry the K's.
They could have.
That.
They could have. They could have. But maybe Ghost Energy Deck didn't want that. Maybe that's
they probably
what
wanted
they said.
exclusivity.
That's what we want.
Sponsorship and ticket sales. Those are the two things that drive revenue for a ball club. I've seen it.
Do we have any new food servings down there at the ballpark, Anthony? Were you able to figure? Was Tim Kelly able to get any kind of intellect on that?
Do you think Tim cares about that? Tim was asking if they want to put a roof on the place. Like I don't know where his head is sometimes.
No, I wasn't talking about his interview with Middleton. I was talking about it in general.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I don't think. I think
have you sampled anything yet? Has he been in the ballpark?
I have not, but then again, nothing's open yet. Like I literally, I walked in and came on the show with you. I haven't even been up to the press box yet. So.
Well, I've got a list of 5 cheesesteak places for the people that are listening to this and watching it right now that are going to go to the opener. 5 best cheesesteak places around the ballpark that you can purchase. Cosme's Deli on South 8th Street. I've been there, tremendous. John's Roast Pork, one of the best cheesesteaks for my money in the city.
It's the best in my mind.
Little Sicily 2 Pizza on Columbus Boulevard apparently has a good cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Rocco's outside the Home Depot on Columbus Boulevard. Rocco's has a little hut there. Good cheesesteak, apparently. And finally, Tony and Nick's, 39 Oregon Avenue. So there you go.
There you go.
You can bring a cheesesteak into the ballpark.
You can. You absolutely can bring stuff in. Yes.
All right, Anthony, let's talk a little hockey.
Oh,
I got to get your spin on what the Flyers did the other night. They had a big game. They were 5 points out from that last wild card spot. Columbus Blue Jackets were the team in front of them. So they could have chiseled that down to 3. They had a game in hand, which would have chiseled it down to 1. How did they come up short?
Mike, I don't know. Can you hear me right now? Because I lost audio.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I think Mike Warren disappeared and I lost you. So I'll talk about the Flyers. I'll give you my take on it, but I can't hear a darn thing you're saying back to me. Just so you know. The other night was a difficult loss for them. I mean, everything, and it was more difficult because everything lined up for the Flyers the other night. They had every team that they needed to lose lost around the league. They got all the help that they needed. So all they needed to do was just win that game against the Blue Jackets, and they couldn't. They couldn't win the game. They've had a great first period, but they just couldn't finish. Other than they had the 1 goal, but they had so many chances and they couldn't finish. So that when the Blue Jackets have a big spurt right at the start of the second period and they score twice, that does them in. And it wasn't like they were awful in the game. They just weren't good enough. And that's probably the story of this team. Like, they play hard, they're competitive, they stay in it, but they just don't have enough. And that's the problem. And they're still in it. I mean, they're still 5 points out, games in hand on everybody. They have a game left against the Islanders, games left against Detroit. They have chances to catch these teams, but they're going to need more help. Travis Konechny said it after the game. He said, well, it's not like we were going to win every game. And he's right. I mean, they weren't going to win 17 straight games. They just weren't going to win 17 in a row. But you only have so many losses that you can take. And if you're going to take a loss in these last 14 games, 13 games, 12 left now, it would be better off against a team that you're not competing with, as opposed to the Columbus Blue Jackets, who now you can scratch them off the list as a team that you can catch, because you can't catch them now. You just can't. So that's part of the problem.
You still there? Did we lose you?
Yeah, I can't hear.
We'll see if we
Mike's
can.
Coming back.
We'll see if we can pop Anthony off and pop him back on if that helps.
Okay.
See if he can still doesn't have
Still
anything.
can't hear you guys. Don't know what happened.
All right.
Well, on that note,
We'll see if we can get him to re-enter the studio.
Get him to re-enter the studio. And I want to talk some Sixer basketball. They run like 157 points last night on the Chicago Bulls. They allowed 53 points in the fourth quarter to the Bulls, however. Paul George back in the lineup was 11 for 22, 28 points for George on a comeback night. Joel Embiid comeback night as well, 35 points, 12 for 17 from the floor, 8 for 9 on the free throw line. He had 6 rebounds and 7 assists. So the Sixers were on all cylinders last night. And they are now only a half a game out of 6th spot in the standings. Man, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you, Mike.
We got you.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I was asking you about what went wrong with the Flyers. You answered that tremendously well. The Sixers, with Embiid and George back in the lineup last night, did that catch your fancy at all?
How about 157 points?
157 they rung up, yep.
That's most of my lifetime, Michael. Like, I've never seen a team score 157 points.
I'm sure that was a willing Chicago Bulls defensive effort last night.
I'm sure it wasn't. But, look, I know it's the Bulls. The thing that impressed me the most about last night wasn't the fact that Embiid came back and put up 35 or that Paul George put up 28, wasn't whatever he put up. It was the fact that they were still finding shots for VJ Edgecombe and that he was still producing and still playing a really good game. Now, I know
Edgecombe 22 last night, 7 for 9 from the floor, 4 for 5 on 3.
I know once Maxey comes back, it'll be a little bit less to go around for VJ. But I still think that there's something to that. Like, if you can get him some shots, it really makes their offense interesting in the postseason. And I don't know, Mike, if they're healthy, my God, we've said this a bazillion times about the Sixers. But if they are healthy, I think that there's a chance that they can be a dangerous team. I'm not saying that they're going to go to the final or anything.
Uh-oh. We lost Anthony's transmission. So on that note,
seem to have lost him again.
We lost him again. We had some technical difficulties. We apologize. Anthony's at the ballpark today. But I think we've got enough information in the show, right, Mike?
Yeah, it was a great show, man. Really good show today.
Just one question for you. Who's the biggest dynasty in sports right now?
Well, I told you mine before he came on the air. I said
Not
it's
the Dodgers.
But your answer is a very good one.
It's Penn State wrestling, folks, without a question. I had to give them a shout out. That's my school, but their wrestling program is awesome. 5 straight national championships, 13 out of the last 15 national championships for Cale Sanderson and the Penn State Nittany Lion wrestling program. And how about those St. Joe Hawks? We'll end on that. Anthony, your St. Joe Hawks are in the quarterfinals of the NIT.
Oh, then they lose to New Mexico.
Or the semifinals. It's the semifinals, right?
No, it was the quarterfinals, and they lost to New Mexico. Yeah, they lost to New Mexico. By the way, I think that John Middleton should take some of that Ghost Energy money and put it towards the Wi-Fi here at Citizens Bank Park, because that seems to keep knocking me off. But yeah, look, Mike, the tournament has bothered me. It bothered me, and I was worried about it coming in, right? Like, it bothers me.
Yeah, you don't like the front runners.
There's just no Cinderella anymore. You had the one high point upset, and I know Iowa beat Florida, and that's an upset, but it's a Big Ten team. And I know Texas is in the Sweet 16 as an 11 seed, but it's Texas. Like, there's nothing left for mid-majors. Nothing at all.
Texas beat a 3, and Iowa beat a 9, beat a 1. Nothing wrong with that. Not feeling it, huh?
I'm done.
All right.
I'm done. Cut me out, Mike.
Thanks for jumping on the show today. We appreciate it. And you take care of yourself down there at the ballpark. Anthony's out. He's gone. Mike Warren, nice job today. We appreciate it. Everybody listening for the Phillies pregame look. Phillies against the Texas Rangers. It'll be Sanchez versus Eovaldi, then Nola versus DeGrom, and Luzardo versus Gore. Pretty good series if you have a ticket for that. Well, everybody have a great time at the ball yard. And don't forget, you can catch this podcast on all podcast networks, including Apple, Spotify, and anything else where you get your podcast. Pandora, Amazon, Music, all of them, Mike.
It's everywhere. We're global. We're worldwide.
There you go. Everybody have a great rest of the day. For Mike Warren and for Anthony Sanfilippo, I'm Mike Misnelli. This has been the On Pattison podcast, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Mike, what does Harry the K always say? He's out of here.
Oh, he's out of here. All right, he's out of here. Take care.